So, my kid just graduated high school. My kid's grandfather came up from another state. The other state is about 11 or 12 hours away to go to the graduation. In doing that, my kid's grandfather gave my kid some money and said, here, this is from me and your Aunt Kay. We'll call her Aunt Kay. And your Aunt Kay. So my kid, takes the money and says, thank you. So about a month and a half later, I'm speaking to my kid's grandfather, and my kid's grandfather goes, hey, your kid needs to call Aunt Kay and thank Aunt Kay for the money. We're from the South, and that's the expectation in the South. And I said, oh, I thought my kid had passed the thanks along through you. And the kid grandfather goes, oh no, when people don't say thank you to something, then people don't like to do things for them anymore. So I'm like, thinking to myself, okay, whatever. And in my mind, I'm thinking, my kid doesn't even know Aunt Kay. My kid can probably count on their finger, one hand, the amount of times that they've actually seen Aunt Kay. And then when they have seen Aunt Kay, it's not like they've had any in-depth conversations. Not to mention that I don't even know Aunt Kay that well. I don't even know my father, the grandfather, that well, because we always lived in totally different states. We were lucky. I was lucky as a kid if I saw my father once a year, and when he would come up for once a year, it would be like for 2 or 3 days. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, these people are that's weird. It's just weird to me. So I had asked my kid, I said, did you, because I had the phone on speaker, I said, did you hear what your granddad said? And my kid goes, yeah, I heard it, but how am I going to send a thank you to somebody? And he didn't even give me the person's phone number. Not to mention that when the grandfather first got up here and was sitting on my sofa, Aunt Kay called him. And at that point, I figured, oh, well, maybe he could have given the phone to my kid and said, hey, Aunt Kay's on the phone. And then, of course, I'm sure that as the conversation progressed between my kid and Aunt Kay, that my kid would have